Hello, Mr. After Effects here. Today I'm going to be showing you all the parts needed to make your very own PlayStation 2 handheld gaming console. Now, as you can see, there is many parts involved just to make a small handheld, but I assure you that with these parts, you'll be able to make one of the best looking ones you can possibly do for your money. All the parts would probably cost around $220 to get, which isn't too bad. So first we're going to start with the case. What you're going to need is anything that's strong, made of ABS or styrene. If you want a Franken case, which is to cut up the case with a Dremel, which I don't have because I let my friend borrow it, you can actually epoxy or Bondo in the buttons right here. As long as it's strong and easy to work with and your motherboard fits in here, you should have no problem with it. So now I'm going to move on to what you're going to use to make the case. You're going to need quite a few products to actually make it. Right now we have Bondo filler. This is actually a body filler. You can get it at AutoZone. Every part that I'm showing you that has to make with like Franken casing and casework is from AutoZone, except for the styrene. So you can pick this up for $8. This one works really well in my dad's experiences. You have sandable primer. The reason why you go sandable is so you can actually spray it on to see your imperfections, because remember, ugly portable doesn't get much respect. So what you're going to want to do is make it look as good as possible. So you pick up some of this. It's only $3. The paint is only $2.99, of course, but the gloss is $6. This is the enamel. So if you go with black, you go with gray or blue. But if you go with a red color or yellow, you want to go with black. It sticks a lot better. So, of course, it's just another Rust-Oleum cover. It works really well. Rust-Oleum is perfect, especially for guns. Right here we have Bondo. This is a spot filler, actually. Thanks to Hellraiser, he actually showed me which one to use. It's got a rubber feel to it, so it's easier to sand because your epoxy is always going to crack. Well, from what I heard, but I've never had my plastic crack on me while making these. And now we're going to move on to our batteries. What I suggest is two 5,000 rated milliamp lithium-ion batteries. You can get them from Battery Space for $17, and they can hold a charge. I think they have 1,000 to 1,500 charge life, which is really good. Lithium ions are really small, efficient, and easy to work with. You got to get two of these rated at, well, they're 3.7 volts, so you can wire them in sequence and put 7.4 volts to the console. You're also going to need a protective circuit board. These are only $5. So what you're going to need is, because you can overcharge your batteries and actually cause them to expand and eventually explode. I don't want that to happen, especially to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up just to kind of give you a look. It's pretty small, but easy to solder to compared to what you're going to be soldering for this handheld. It's got your positive, negative. This is for the negative of one battery and the positive of another. And then the outer sides you just put right here and you can charge it right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back in the static bag and move this over here. You're also going to need some female DC jacks that come with a smart charger. Right here I have a smart charger. It's a 1.2 amp smart charger. I have one 3.6 amp and two 1.2 amps. Since Battery Space messed up on my order, upon opening it, you will see it plugs into the wall, and smart chargers are really nice. They will not overcharge your batteries, especially the protective circuit board, made by Battery Space. It's worth the money. I mean, you can spend up to like $110 on your batteries alone, but trust me, it will make your portable last long and work great. So now we have the AX3022 power regulator. You can get these on eBay for $10, and it's adjustable, but it cuts the battery life down by 15%. You just got to keep that in mind. It's really easy. You got your output right here, and you just twist it until your multimeter reads. That's another good part. You need a multimeter till it reads 7.5, 7.4 volts, whatever you want to use for the console. Just be very careful. Here are the female DC jacks I was talking about. This one came in a 3-pack, so you can just splice these apart. Red positive, black ground. So I'm going to go ahead and put this over here. Now we're going to move to the console itself. The model I recommend for the PS2 is actually the SCPH 7900. The reason why I recommend this model is to kind of give you a comparison between motherboard size. This motherboard is really big, hard to make a handheld, as you can see. Compare it to the PS1 size, which is about the size of my case. It's bigger than the PS1. I actually used this in my last one, and my last portable is pretty big, but not too bad. See, right under the laser disassembly, you see absolutely no motherboard. So the motherboard's actually way smaller. It's about this big, and you can always just rewire the USB port somewhere else, which I'm going to use. I'm not using a disk drive, so you need a modded FreeMake boot memory card, which Razer provides on our site. And you're going to need tact switches. Rubber tact switches, 15 millimeters, because the reason why I say rubber, it gives that original feel of the controller, and you can actually get 200 tact switches, which you're only going to probably use 200 tact switches for only $32. It takes about a week and a half to get there. It's not too bad. You're going to need a memory card if you plan on, actually modding your PS2 to boot from external, which I find it more feasible than to actually carry around a stack of games, as they get scratched up pretty easily. Moving to the supplies, this is what I forgot in case making. You need 220 grit sandpaper, 60 grit sandpaper, 100 grit, and 600 grit. For rough sanding, you'll use a 60, 100, and you slowly move up, and you can even use a 600 for some wet sanding. Right here, you're also going to need, for your handheld, the screen. I mean, it's unless you want to guess what's going on in the game. The PS1 screen works really well. You can get them for $40, almost new condition on eBay. You just got to bid at the right times, or you can go to Amazon and get the Zenith screens. They're the same thing, just rebranded. This screen won't run off of anything higher than 8 volts. You will blow your sound out and your backlight if you go too higher. That's what the regulator is for. Polystyrene, of course, to make the case is .080. I don't know if I said that earlier, but it's for vacuum forming. Some epoxy to reinforce, like this Loctite putty. Well, not putty, this is more of a liquid. It comes out in 2 parts. You smear it with like a Q-tip and you just place it on like the back of the controller, whatever you're going to use to actually reinforce it. And it works really well, and it hasn't failed me yet. Soldering pick to get out that pesky solder that you just can't desolder. You need a desoldering iron. A soldering iron. This one's really disgusting because I used it way too much and it's old, but it still works and I plan on using it forever. We got some Roseland core solder. This is lead based, so do not inhale the fumes, and it sticks a lot better, so we use this solder. Some wire. I use 24 gauge for the batteries, because the thicker the wire, the better it is for batteries. This is IDE wire for, I just use this. What you do is you just cut it. It's for hard drives, parallel ATA wire. And you just cut it, and what you do is you peel it like string cheese, and you can use a wire stripper or your teeth, which I usually do, and you can wire most of your components with this. You can actually pick up a 64 meg memory card. Instead of going to the store, you pay $10, you get that crappy little 8 meg one. Well, this one will be able to hold so many saved games, you probably won't go through it in your lifetime. A heatsink, anything cooling, you can actually get this from the PS2. You can just bend it down with some C-clamps. And you're going to need a fan. I already got a different fan, a smaller one, but make sure it can run off of 7 volts. Most 12 volts do. And you can always check the amp current right here on the sticker. So anyway, those are pretty much all my parts needed to make this handheld PS2. I will always update my work log, and as soon as I get the parts and I start making something, I will show you step by step how to make your own PlayStation 2 handheld. Thank you for watching.